down, so I'm trying to clean him up a little bit before he goes back. When a dog's here, it's about training. If the dog gets totally muddy, just poop on him, whatever, throw him in the bath. I don't have time to be combing it out daily, so if you're sending some fancy dog, no, it's about training the dog's behavior. And that's exactly why this dog was here. The dog had separation anxiety. That was their concern. They didn't send them to me because I'm gonna, be combing the dog daily. I don't have time for that. So, if it's a long-haired dog, this sort of has to be done at a point if you're gonna keep the hair long. Now, generally speaking, most of the long-haired dogs that come here, the owners don't shave them for 2-3 months, and then they shave them. Don't shave them. 2-3 months they shave them. They just keep shaving them, and that's sort of how most people do. But I don't like the look. I much prefer the shaggy-looking dog. But the shaggy-looking dog it can be a real hassle. This guy in particular, or any shaggy dog, they get burrs. I mean, since he's been here, I've had to spend time doing some things like pulling out burrs. Like he would get burrs underneath his, you're just stuck doing it. So you're going to have maintenance no matter what. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm not, hey, we got to get the blow dryer out and get you fancy one, because we're working outside. It's just got to get filthy. This is how it is. So that's not a big deal. But over the years, I have learned some stuff about dog grooming because I always dealing with something that has long hair, a doodle, cocker spaniel, and there's a lot of misconceptions about how to groom a dog. And most of the stuff that I learned was when I worked at an animal shelter. There was a dog groomer there, and I'd go in and talk to him and watch what he was doing. I was sort of fascinated by it, with no intentions of ever being a dog groomer. I never wanted to do this. This is not my cup of tea. It wasn't then. It was just sort of interesting, and I want to know. I just want to know what's going on. So, couple tool. Oh, let's talk about taking your dog into a groomer. So you take your dog into a groomer, a dog like this. The first thing that they're going to do is take a comb like this, try and put it through the dog's coat. And I always, I'm like, what are you doing? That's not even the right comb for that dog. You don't use a comb, you use a brush. What they want to do is say, well, your dog is matted, we have to shave it. So it doesn't matter if you just comb the dog out. This comb is really not going to go through a curly dog, okay? It's going to get stuck. And what they're doing is they're lazy. They're lazy. You could say, the dog's matted, I don't want its haircut, I want you to spend time splitting mats, and they're like, well, that's going to take all day, you'll have to reschedule, or that's going to cost a lot of money. They don't want to do it. They do not want to do it. That's a fact. All they want to do is shave the dog and get the dog out. And it doesn't matter if you take them someplace that doesn't have a full load. They don't want to do that. They don't want to split mats. They don't. That's just not going to happen. So, and I've had owners that are very particular, like, don't get the dog's hair cut. We want the hair long, right? So if you take them to good luck finding a groomer that will split mats. They don't want to do it. So I'm going to talk about splitting mats here. And look, this dog, I spent an hour and a half I bathed it, spent an hour and a half splitting mats, spent about another hour and a half splitting mats, so I'm at 3.5 hours or something on the dog. I still got a lot more to do, but it's doable. And to do it, you need some tools to split mats, okay? This kind of scissor is great for splitting mats. Listen, you split the mats, you don't cut them. Now the only exception to that would be like the belly. I tend to cut those because when the hair gets long on the belly, it's going to get matted. So if you want a long-haired dog, you're definitely going to go for the belly. You're going to want to keep that real low. Also, another problem with dogs is the armpits. So you got to, at some point, you got to cut those out and get it down real low, or else it just mats up. Also, depending on the way that the dog lies, um, you might have, don't cut it, but you might have to split mats more if it lies on one side or the other. And if you want the dog with real long hair, you might have to grab a brush real quick every day and just on the side that the dog lays on, just brush it out real quick. Now, the kind of brush that you want for a long-haired or curly dog is a slicker brush. This is the proper brush for a curly dog, okay? It's not this. This isn't gonna work. A comb is not gonna work. It's gonna get stuck. This will detangle mats and keep mats away. This is hugely helpful, and I think it's confusing to people. They see those small wires and they're like, oh, that must be for like a, German short hair or something. You could do it. You could use this on a German short hair, of course, but for a long-haired dog, you cannot use just anything. I'm going to sit down because I've been doing this for, like over an hour now, and it's uncomfortable. Okay, so let me just get a chair. Long-haired dogs are a pain in the ass. Yeah. The longest haired dog I've had is Mango, and I just cut his mats out. I don't care. I never worried about Mango and the way that he looked, although he was a pretty good looking guy when he was younger. He's beautiful, but he came to me with severe behavioral problems. So it's always been about Mango's behavior. I don't really care about the way a dog looks. That's never been a concern of mine. Like, I want the dog, I worry about its behavior. That's just how it is. Like, the days of me being like, ooh, what happened there? My slicker brush is broken. Well, that's not good. Don't do this to me now, slicker brush. The days of me like being interested in the way a breed looks are sort of long gone. Well, it's not totally broken, but this sort of screws me here. I gotta get a new slicker brush. Okay, I'll take. This thing has a thing so you can pop the hair out. So I'll just get another one of these. And this thing went too far, and then some of the wires are behind it now. So I can still use it for today, but I got to go get a new one. So it's never been a concern about like, oh, I want a dog that looks a certain way. I'm more interested in the behavior or what are its traits that are sort of bred into it, like that. I think if more people were concerned about, like, I want a calm dog, right, not a cute dog, dogs would be bred differently for sure. We'd have healthier dogs, and that's just the truth. Hey, I own Tonka. I got a hyperactive dog because I wanted a very persistent hunting dog, and as a 58-year-old person, Tonka's over 10. I'm like, what was I thinking? I got a bad hip. What was I thinking? So I'm subject to it too. But I think that most people are concerned about cuteness. Like, how many Shibas are, oh, it looks like a fox, I want it, and then the idiot can't train the dog, and can't even get the puppy to walk on a leash. It's a real problem. It's a problem in our society. People are unrealistic. So, but I like the poodle, and I even considered getting a poodle as a hunting dog. One of the drawbacks was that it has long hair, and my thought was, well, during hunting season, I could just shave it down. But I really don't like the way that looks. Now, the hair grows back pretty quick. 45 days, it's looking better, but, it's just, the shaggy dog looks pretty bitchy. And I guarantee you, when the dog was developed, nobody was cutting it, taking it to the groomer weekly. So there's also an aspect about a dog like this is it's sort of like owning an MG. You want to buy a sports car or something like that you know, or a Jaguar or something, you know it's going to break down. That's part of it. Like, you know you're going to put money into it, you know. It's just it. You don't care. That's part of it. So some of the other tools that you need besides the slicker brush that I broke, which still can be used for today, is well, you want a pair of these scissors, and these scissors are really handy for splitting mats because you can put them in it and slide it, or you can slide it up. Do not cut the mat out. You slide the scissors in. Sometimes you can slide them in if it's real stuck. Go like that, and then put it in and in. So you're sort of like combing the dog with the blade. You also want a heavier pair of scissors like this, or anything, but like this, these can come in handy for certain things too. So the one thing that I'll say is when you're using the scissors, I also have a pair of scissors that are rounded. That's for somebody that I think isn't used to using scissors around a dog. But you know, you got to be careful. I hold the snout when I'm working on the face, and I also, if the dog is a real problem, which he's not, I'm working on the floor, I put the dog in a high collar like you would, like the groomer would do. But the thing about the high collar, it's the, you know, the leash going up attached to the collar. They don't know these dogs, okay? So one aspect of this dog, I've been training this dog for months. So I have a good handle on the dog. If somebody wanted to work with this dog and groom it and they hadn't been training for months, they're going to have issues, I guarantee you. They're going to have issues. He's full on, he's got attitude. You know, if I took him to a grooming parlor, I'd say, you know, well, how is he? I say, well, he's got some attitude. That's how it is. I think maybe some grooming places won't even work on a dog that's intact. I don't know why. But, you know, you'd have to say, well, he's got attitude, you know. But they have the dog so that it's, you know, high collar, and the back, it goes underneath the back. Where when I'm working on the dog, if it starts moving around, I put my hand underneath the back. Now you do have to do the genital areas and stuff on a dog like this, and it's sensitive, so just be careful. My rule of thumb is, like, I'd rather cut my hand than the dog, so a lot of times I'll put my finger in the way to make sure that I'm not going to cut the dog. If you cut the dog, they're going to be flipped out. They're never going to let you groom them again. So the other thing about a dog like this, the underside of the dog, like I said, I keep that on a dog like this, like a spaniel or something. I keep the belly sort of low. I'll go in there because you get mats, and if you even split them, they're just going to mat out again, and it's not really seen. So I take that down super low. So I'll split mats, and then I'll take it down. Also, like with a dog like this, like if you let the feet go, they're like a dust mop. They track in mud and everything. Same thing on a Cocker Spaniel. Any of these dogs that have this like fur that like, so I usually just cut those into like a hoof shape, and it stops and then goes up into its normal hair. So usually on this dog, I'm gonna listen. I'm not the best at this. It's more, I make a functional cut. So I do a hoof shape, and then I'm going to sort of taper it, you know. The ears are another issue. Like behind the ears, you'll tend to get mats. So what you want to do is you want to split those mats, split them, use something like this is what I use to split them. We'll do it in a minute. And comb them out. Once again, the slicker brush is very important. And I'll probably be using a slicker brush, but before he goes, from now until he goes home. The other thing about a dog is that, like, if you can comb them out before you wash them, bingo, very helpful. We didn't have that option yesterday because I was gonna, it's when the hair gets tangled, like a dread. I have a story about that. So I was gonna comb him out today and then throw him in the bathroom. There was no option; he had poop on him, so I did the opposite. What happens with the long-haired dog when you bathe them? You know, it doesn't matter. I use conditioner and soap and everything. What happens is the long hair tends to get tangled. Now, with that said, the long-haired dog, let that thing drip dry. You take a towel and do this, you're gonna create a freaking mess. Don't do it. Wash the dog, let them shake, because when they shake, it sort of untangles, right? Don't rub them dry. You know, that's all I do is like take the dog, when it's coming out of the tub, a dog like this, I'm getting it outside as quick as possible because they are gonna shake. So he shook once coming out the bathroom door and then going outside, and then he shook the rest outside pretty much, had him on a leash, and then brought him in. Maybe he shook a couple times, but most of the water was off of him at that point. Okay? Now, you can use a hair dryer. A lot of times hair dryers freak dogs out though. So put him on a leash. I had him on a leash. He didn't like it, but tough shit. It's the attitude you have to have with dogs. It's like, sorry, but we're using the hair dryer now. So, because I had to detangle more, and it's just like, it was just, you know, I had to dry out his paws, and you'll see the tendency that the water comes off the dog, and the last place to dry on a dog like this is the paws. So I just wanted to start on them. So at a grooming parlor, what they do is they put your dog in a crate, and then the crate has a hair dryer in front of it and blows hot air in there. So that starts drying the dog. So yeah, that you could do something like that too. In a crate like this, it's not going to be that helpful, but maybe you could rig something up where it just, you put a fan on them or a blow dryer and just blow it into the crate. That could be helpful. If you have a small dog, and you want to, you know, one of the things you probably want to invest in is a grooming table, especially if you want to keep the dog looking real slick. You spend a fortune on a small dog taking it to get groomed. Just to get it shaved, it's going to cost you $80. So bigger dogs are going to cost more. It's a fortune. So you better just don't worry about it. As you, it's your dog, so it really doesn't matter what it looks like, right? You love the dog, right? So if you do a bad job cutting it, you know, you'll get better at it. You could start out using not scissors like these. You could get the kind with the rounded points, so that when you're by the eyes, you're not freaked out. But if the dog's squirming around, don't cut around the eyes until you get control. And the thing of it is, if you're not training your dog, the dog's going to squirm around. So, along with, you can't just get a dog and think, oh, I'm going to love it and I'm going to groom it and feed it. More important is training. You could have the best groomed dog in the world, but it could end up in the shelter because it's just a total dick. Okay? When he came here, he was a total dick. Now he's manageable. Another thing that you might want to get, maybe, is a clipper. But I will say this about clippers, man. They don't work so good. This is a nice one because it doesn't have a cord. It just charges, but I find most of the time I'm working on a dog, I'm using scissors. That's just how it is. I really don't see these as that positive of a thing. So most of the work is done with scissors. You also might want this. This is called a shedding blade. Not a shedding blade. It's called it's a mat blade to take mats out. So you see how it is? It's got those. And the thing about taking a mat out, start at the top and go into the mat. Because if you just go into the mat, it's sort of getting stuck. But even before you use this, you're going to want to use scissors and cut the mat up through it. Go up through it or down through it. Do not cut it out, because then you'll get a bald spot. This dog has a few bald spots for an e-collar here And then under here, because we were using a bark collar with him for a while, this is starting to grow back. This I might even shave down a little bit. Can't really tell. The e-collar goes there anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you might have a really long-haired dog. You might have to shave a patch for the e-collar to work properly. If the e-collar's not working properly, like say the Vizsla that's here, the collar was down real low and just sort of hanging. That's not how it fits. It's supposed to fit up here by the ear. And look, this doesn't hurt me, okay? You need the contact points to be touching the skin and just going in slightly, and so it doesn't move. If it's like this, it's going to move and it's not going to make good contact. Sometimes it makes contact, sometimes it doesn't. Probably get a vocalization, your training is going to be way off. So the contact points need to go in, right? This doesn't hurt at all. This hurts. See the point? You could use, there's different types of bungee cord collars, which we have one on him. I might change it to a different kind. We already have him on a micro educator, the Vizsla. It's a smaller collar. That dog doesn't need a big collar, but maybe he's going to get bigger. Maybe we'll go back to the mini educator, and maybe a different type of bungee collar. I don't know. Playing it by ear with him. Needs to heal better though, which is what I'm working on today. But right now we're talking about grooming. So, what I'm saying is a lot of people, like, they worry about, like, I want my dog to have like the super diet, right? The best diet possible, but they don't. Training isn't a concern. Training should be your concern. I'm all for raw diet, but I'd rather have somebody that trains the dog and gets dog food. That's the truth. Than somebody that gets raw diet but doesn't work with the dog. That's just stupid. How stupid is that? Listen, dogs don't eat Doritos, and that's what kibble is. It's just highly processed food. Then once it's baked, they got to reintroduce vitamins. So how's that make sense? I'm not saying that I don't give the dog vitamins. I give them once or twice a week, and they get a raw diet. But it just doesn't make any sense. And if you're concerned about like the way the dog looks, like more than the dog's behavior, like say you have a little dog that barks at people and you don't do anything about it, but you really spend the time grooming the dog or getting the dog groomed, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're going to have issues. Your main concern should be your dog's behavior, because an ungroomed dog isn't going to end up in the shelter, okay? And don't give me this like, oh, my dog would never end up in a shelter. Tell that to the 6 million dogs that do, that are put down. It's all about behavior, and it's about training, lack of training, or no training at all. It's a fact. So stop worrying about grooming your dog. It's ridiculous. Now, one thing with a light-colored dog that you may see is stains, and stains are caused by bacteria. So you'll see stains, tear stains. No, he doesn't have any. And around the mouth, like you'll see it because they're eating whatever. So that bacteria. It's not really a big deal. Or if the dog licks its paws, which they'll do, they might get a stain. Stain is caused by bacteria. Now, they used to have a product, Stain No More, something like that. It was an additive that you put in the dog food. It was an antibiotic. It was Talocin. And then the FDA, I think, took it off the market because they don't want people giving their dogs an antibiotic. And then they're still selling some product that does not work, and it's all just nutritional stuff. Like, it's not going to work. If you have a white dog and you don't want tear stains, right? If you're going to feed raw diet to your dog, you're probably going to have more staining because they're eating chicken. It's bacteria. Bacteria is like probiotic for your dog, okay? But you can definitely keep tear stains away by just wiping them off daily. If your dog is one of those dogs that gets a lot of tear stains, just wipe them off. They got wipes for that. And like, I know people with white dogs. I'm thinking about my friend Kathy. She bathes the dogs all the time. So that'll keep the bacteria off the dog too. So you got a white dog, you send it here, and it's here for 3 months. You're probably gonna get some staining. So, because I don't have time to be bathing the dog all the time. It's a fact. You can't. You can't. Like, you know, I have stuff to do. You know, and honestly, like I'm all about like if the owner wants a dog groomed, you pay for grooming. I'll take it to the groomer. Okay. Other than that, your dog gets dirty, I throw it in the bathtub. You give me a white dog, I'll throw it in the bathtub if it gets muddy. And by the way, small dogs get filthy for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. Man, I've never. Let's not talk about Marty who would roll in mud. It's fucking crazy. And one other thing, you give your dog a bath, right? And you put it outside. Keep it on a leash because you know the first thing that they're gonna do, roll on the ground. They're gonna fuck up the bath, and then you're gonna have to rebathe it. Even if like, say the short-haired dogs, use the hose on them outside and stuff, bathe them that way. Keep them on a leash. Keep them on a leash because you let them off the leash, let them shake, just stand back, let them shake, and keep them on a leash because the short-haired dog will do the same thing. So it's a dog, man. They don't really care. How often should you bathe your dog? Well, it really depends. If you have a white dog and you want to keep it white, you're going to have to bathe it like once a week. And then if you have tear stains, you can remove tear stains by a little hydrogen peroxide in water if you want to do that. But it's not detrimental to your dog. It's just bacteria that's normally in your dog, right? And it shows up on white. That's it. That's it. Same bacteria on a black dog, you just don't see it. So it's really no big deal. See a dog like this that sort of looks white, right? Looks pretty white. It's not really white. He's like a cream color or something with sort of like darker patches in places. But, you know, it's like this off cream color thing. Right, Mer? But pretty much all, you can notice them more, the patches, when the dog is not combed out. When the dog's combed out, you really can't tell. It's all sort of one color and looks white. One other thing is that your dog, when it's wet and it's cream colored like this, see how he's white? It's gonna look darker. Okay, that's gonna show color. So that's another thing. It's really, I urge people not to be too worried about grooming. Just know that, like, if you do have that's Merlin. If you do have a long-haired dog, concentrate on the pits. You want to cut those, and maybe the belly, and around the butt, and the genitalia. Like his genitalia, like he pees, and then like he has this long hair, and then the pee gets stuck in it. Also, long-haired dogs like this have hair in their ears that need to be dealt with, and usually people pull those because they're deep. But I don't know. I'm doing enough with the dog. The owners can deal with that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I'll do something. I was already looking at the ears. I'll probably clean them and stuff. One other thing, if you're going to bathe the dog and they get water in their ears, or you take your dog swimming, use a solution of 50% white vinegar to 50% water. Put it in like one of those, you know those ketchup bottles you see in like diners, or mustard bottles? They're plastic and then they have like a thing. You can put it in something like that and just squirt that solution, douche each ear out, and what it does is it changes the pH of the ear so your dog doesn't get infections. I've even used that when a dog does have an ear infection, and it you know, helped out with that because it changes the pH in the ear. But if your dog has an ear infection, you might want to go to the vet. If your dog has any problems, I would go to a vet. You shouldn't be asking medical problems. I was vet tech, but don't ask for medical stuff on here because I'm not gonna. What do you want me to tell you? I'm not a vet. Just because. Listen, you can. It's your pet. Like legally, I can medicate my dogs. You know, it's legal. You can medicate farm animals and stuff, but I'm not gonna tell you what to do. You do whatever you want. People are idiots. I had somebody telling me that instead of using flea and tick preventative for a dog, they were going to Tractor Supply and using flea and tick preventative for a cow. Once again, I removed them. I remove anybody that has any disinformation on my channel about dogs, okay? And I'm not going to okay that. So if somebody puts anything like that, you're removed because somebody else is going to do it. Like, how cheap are you? You can't go get the proper stuff for the dog? You want to use it for a cow? What's the matter with you? Why? You know? So anybody says on my channel that's like, well, I do this, if I disagree with it, that means you're gone. So watch out what you say on my channel. I don't care who you are, okay? I don't. So I'm gonna plug Merlin's e-collar in, and then I'm gonna come back and work on some more. Hang on, let's get this thing charged up. This is the e-collar I've been working with Merlin with. It's big. It's called the Boss by e-collar Technologies. Much more expensive than a mini educator. It's different. It's different. The battery holds longer. It's different. You can't even charge it with the same thing. Dogs have different perception of stimulation for sure, and this guy especially. So I've been using this with him. So I'm debating whether I just give this to the owner, just say fuck it. It's expensive. It's Tonka's collar. You know, it's for like a hunting dog, high drive hunting dog, or a dog that does protection, something like that. He's full on dog. He's full on dog. Don't even have to use a bark collar with him anymore. I'm not finding that that's even necessary. He doesn't bark at night anymore. He's totally quiet. You know, so the shaved area down here, I see no reason that he even needs to go home with a bark collar. But this guy, like during the day, if he starts barking at something, they're gonna have to respond. Definitely. They're coming to do lessons. We'll set this dog up to make sure that he barks and the owners respond. That's my main concern with this dog, seriously. So what, he could do a fucking ridiculously long reverse retrieve. That don't matter. That doesn't matter. That's not gonna, he's had behavioral shit, so he really needs to shut his mouth, and the owners need to use a crate during the day if they can't watch him. That's just imperative. It's stimulation. Stop with this shock, man. Get out of here. E-collars use stimulation or vibration, and usually, most dogs are using it lower than a human can feel it. Sometimes you can use this lower than a human can feel it with this dog. But this dog is really unusual in that I came here and I had to really go up on this thing, which is sort of a bummer. So I don't know if the owner used an e-collar before he came, like tried because he's desperate. But it's like this dog, So if you have a dog, my suggestion, is it true older dogs cannot hold bladder in the house even if they were house trained? If the dog has health issues, yeah. But a young dog that has health issues, so it has nothing to do with age. What are you talking about, man? Is it true? Yeah, older dogs tend to have health problems, okay? What are you talking about? I'm gonna plug this in, I'll be right back. Jesus Christ. See, most people shouldn't even have dogs. Hang on, Mark. I gotta get rid of that trash. Amy. So I'll split some more mats for a while, and then I'll probably call it a day for today, and I might do some more tomorrow, or maybe I'll do some tonight. I don't know. Just trying to get him so he's not. So I'll use, at this point, I'm going to use these. I'll show you the way that I do this. Come here, buddy. Here. Come on. So, like I said, I've been working with him for a long time. So he's very responsive to me. He'll just sort of stand here while he's doing a bow. But, here. Merlin, sit. Or get up. Up. I'll take these. See how you can just sort of slide these in here like that? That's how you split a mat, right? Just by doing this. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm concentrating right now. I was working on this ear in particular behind it. Now when you're splitting a mat, what you can do is you grab the base of the mat, right? So you're not pulling a skin. And just see if you can pull it up. If you have to do that, that's fine. Probably take out a little bit. Look at it as like weeding your garden. And so I'm doing right behind his ear. I'm just sliding it in, pulling it up, and that's splitting the mat. So, you know, it's trying to use they want to sell you products. I'm not saying that the mat splitter, like this thing, doesn't have purpose. It does, but generally speaking, to get the mats out of your dog, you want to invest in a good pair of scissors. Just sort of take your time. And so I'll do this before I use the slicker brush. Like all the mats will be split. So this is time consuming. I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe 2 more hours or so, like a total of 4.5 hours of working on him to get him sort of like unmatted. They're a bummer. Unmatted, and the underside sort of down real low. The armpits dealt with, and his feet shaved. Not shaved, but hoofed, so they look like little hoofs. Yeah, these dogs have crazy coats. Seriously. See, to do this, like, these aren't good for this, so I grab these, right? I look at the dog, right? No, see? It's moving his head. Would you knock it off, dude? Here. Now look at me, dude. You're a good boy, dude. So we'll cut this down to, so, you know, like it's drinking out of a water bowl. Once again, water, you know, you change the water, but, you know, it might, other dogs are drinking out of it, might have some bacteria in it. So this sort of area has a tendency to stain as well. But he's, you know, he's not really like a bacteria-stained dog. Looks pretty good, don't you, Murr? So when you're working on their face, just take your time. I grab the snout. See, I do most of the cutting with scissors. It's just what I prefer. I'm like, oh, you're all right, buddy. My ears, I'll sort of like you said, you find the ear, you find where the ear actually is, right? But he's got a lot. He's got 2 inches or something. But I'll probably leave those long and just, like, I'll use a slicker brush. Just really. So when I do the slicker brush, I'll grab the fur, like here, It's a skinny dog. It is. But, you know, like if this dog was shaved, it looked like the body of a Saluki. Seriously, it's not. They look fat. They're not. They're always pretty lean. It's an active breed. They're athletic. Not a fat dog. It's good. You don't want a fat dog. Skinny's better than fat, that's for sure. A lot of people are fat and they have fat dogs. That's the truth. But some dogs are just. You know why he has poop on his butt? That only happens when he's overfed. And I gave him a little extra. I like him, you know, I'm subject to it too, but usually I keep him in check. So if you overfeed the dog, you can give him the shits. With dog food, for sure. That's the problem with dog food, and he's on dog food. Now, he's got some mats on this side. So I'm going to use the slicker brush a little bit, see what happens. We can get some of them out. Well, I have to go. I want to buy him a new collar. I'll get another slicker brush. It's ridiculous looking. Let me cut that. Here, come here. Let's see. So he's got some mats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up. Here, come here, buddy. You can sit down. Stay right there. I'm going to slide him in. Now, see, the ears tend to get fucking kind of dirty because, you know, they put their head on the ground and stuff. So make sure to get the ears and get the mats out. Just pull it up. You can kind of like a sawing motion sometimes. The other side was more matted. Well, no, this one's kind of matted too. Seems like he lays on one side. He prefers one side to the other. See what I'm doing here? I'm just sort of using it almost like a comb, sort of, just sliding it through. No, you're doing good, dude. Slide it in. It's like I'm combing with it. If I see a mat, make sure I get it into the mat and then pull it up. It splits the mat. This. I gotta go work heel with Lutsy. He's got a good shit together, that's for sure. I didn't like the way he acted when he's like so preoccupied when he sees my neighbors and shit. It's like not paying attention. Just take your time. Right. Remember, this is a dog that I have a relationship with, so he's allowing me to do this. But I am sort of like, I grab the base of the mat when I do this. Even when I'm brushing him, I'll grab his skin, and then so it doesn't pull. And yeah, I'm sure that there's probably groomers watching going, that's not, I don't do it like that. I don't really care how you do it. Oh, the story about the groomer that I go in and watch at the shelter, he would, you know, just shave the dogs down if they needed, if they came in, you know, if they were rescued and were going to be up for adoption, right? So this is a groomer, remember? This is his job. So one day, a professional job came in, you know, not dealing with the shepherd or the shelter, and it was a pulley, and I guess he didn't know what they were, but a pulley's a long-haired dog that you let it turn into dreads. he shaved it. He shaved the pulley, and it was like a show dog. He didn't know. He's like, well, I didn't know. Well, he should have, though. He'd always that was a groomer that, like, if somebody wanted Matt split, he would do it. He would do it because he always thought, well, I've got to get up. So it's like, yeah, I remember he'd bitch. Like, I split those mats for like 3 hours and she didn't even give me a tip, you know. People are, you know, in Brooklyn. That's how the groomers make their money. So, God, I'd hate to be a groomer. Like if you see a mat, right, you just put your finger, hold it, and then you sort of comb them with the scissors. Think of it as like a single ferminator. Here, come here. Here, no. Here, come here. Here, up. No, you're not going there. Stay right there. See how I'm holding the base so it doesn't, you know, hurt him? Take my fingers and I grab it, right? Like this. I forgot what they call this color. Tell you what, this dog blends into dead grass. That's the color of one of the Chesapeake Bay's colors. Is dead grass. So you just sort of do this. Spend your time. Split the mats. It's not really. I don't know why groomers don't want to do it, but they don't. Good luck finding one that'll do it. Most groomers are kids. They are. It's like one of those things that, oh, it sounds like fun. And they find out, oh, it's actual work. You know, so they don't want to do the work. They just want the easiest way out. Like, what's the quickest way to do it? Not all. I mean, if you're going to use a groomer, find one with experience. That's what Cesar Milan did. He was a groomer. That's sort of why I think he has this approach with dogs. It's like, because you have to at times, it's like, knock it off, you know? I was telling him earlier, like, fucking knock it off. But like, see, the problem is, if you have a dog like this, you do have to spend time doing this, man. And time really should be spent training. Like, this is time, it's time consuming. Yeah, I need a new slicker brush for sure. Sorry. You're pretty, dude. Look at this guy. He's pretty, right? That is the cool thing about this breed, though. You can really, if they have real long hair, you can really bump them up. Like, Okay, see, this is where I cut under here for a bark collar. Which what happened was it was making him bark more. So take it off, and we haven't used it since. He's been quiet, man. He sleeps at night now. You can try detangling product. They don't really work. They don't. I'm gonna get underneath his arm a little bit. Right. See, he's got some mats here underneath his. So I'm gonna split it. No. See, I have to fucking give him shit. They have a tendency to get these here and underneath the pits. So the pits, I'll take those down real low. This area I'll just split. Maybe on the inside I might take it down a little lower. I'll split it first and make my decision later. Just remember, don't cut it out, cut up through it. You're gonna get some hair to come out, of course. Or cut. Some hair's gonna be cut, but that's the way it's done. So I'm just sort of combing this area of the leg with the scissors. So I have my hand down here, I'm grabbing the mat, and I slide the scissors in. Hey, dude, don't. Nice dog. It's full on, I'll tell you that. Loves the dummy launcher. It's a little bit under the armpit. I'll split underneath the armpit, I'll split them and then I'll cut them. No, dude. I don't know. It's sort of relaxing doing it. I could see if you were doing it for a living, though, it'd be like, okay, it's 2 days of this, because it's, sort of menial. Maybe if you were giving the dog like a dog like this, and you had a dog like this, and you were giving it, the crazy haircuts. I have no problem with that. People ask me like, dude, I don't care. See, the dog has to be compliant. So there's definitely a training aspect to this. Right, Murph? Stop, dude. hair, so I do trim that a little bit. Hang on. Hang on. Where are you going? Here, come here. Here. I'll use these for a little bit. See all this? Take that down low. Hey! Mur! Kennel. That's it for right now. It's exhausting shit. It is. I gotta get this. See, I started doing this, shaping out the hooves, his feet. It all takes time. That is exactly why groomers don't want to do it. They just want to shape them. That's it. Okay. What's somebody saying? I don't have any space to get a crate in my studio at the moment. My dog keeps jumping onto my bed. You have no space for a crate. Give me a break. Then why'd you get a dog? You don't have space for a crate. Well, you better make space. There's no reason that you should not be using a crate. You don't have. I've always heard it. You know, I've always heard, oh, well, I don't like the way that the crate looks. Tough shit. You got a dog, use a crate. Tough shit. What's the matter with you? You got a dog, it's jumping on the bed when you're not around. It's going to jump on the bed when you're around, too. Get a crate. You have no room for a dog crate. Get a smaller bed. Sleep in a hammock. You're leaving the house and leaving the dog. You got to give your dog separation anxiety. You understand that? That the crate is the #1 tool for not giving your dog separation anxiety? Oh, but you don't have enough room for it. You got a dog and you don't have a crate. I'm going to stop talking. There's no sense in talking anymore. If anybody else has any other questions, I will answer them. Well, Craig, nail clippers, like with a lot of dogs, like you don't need them as long as you're working them. You know, like most of the time, unless it's a real old dog and it's walking on carpet, like a Chihuahua, that could be a problem. But most of the time, nails grow to a point and then they keep getting rubbed down to a certain point. So, I've known 2 vets that were just like, yeah, they want their nails clipped, but they don't really get it, so we do it, but we're not a groomer, right? And like, that's the point. It's like most dogs, they grow to a certain point, and then they stop at that length. It might seem sort of long, but that's where they stop growing, so they don't really need to be clipped. Some dogs, yes, but where does the dog sleep? What are you talking about, man? Hang on, Mango, I'll get you, buddy. I gotta give my 23-year-old dog water. Hang on. Where does the dog sleep? In a crate. As a pup, I wanted him to be introduced to the clippers. Yeah, a lot of owners are like that. I don't know if it's that necessary. Hey, Mango, here, you want brother? Come on, buddy. Hang on, let's see. Oh, man. Oh yeah, that just kills my hips doing that. I gotta take a break. He's looking much better though. A couple more hours will be good to go. Then I'll bathe him again and brush him out when he's done. That's it. Where does the dog sleep? Dog should be in a crate. Not in your bed. And if you're sleeping, how are you going to watch the dog? It's going to go up on the couch. What's wow? What's wow that a dog should sleep in a crate? This dog definitely should. Maybe if it's real old, if it's an old dog and well behaved, but you still better have a crate for it. Any dog of any age can get separation anxiety. And if you have a 2-year-old dog and it's allowed to walk around the house just willy-nilly, you'll have behavioral problems. You will. But you want me to lie to you? Sorry. I'm not gonna. Look at that. Is there anybody from Russia watching that? This is where Ukrainians being thrown in a mass grave. That was another Russian bomb. Oh yeah, I know, they're not doing it. Give me a break. I meant, they don't have space for a crate, so where does he sleep? My dog doesn't have any toy drive. Can I teach him to play? You know, you are asking just ridiculous questions, okay? And it's fucking... Oh, you want to tell me about dematting combs? I have one, Tool. I have one. Oh, you're the dog expert, but you're like, my dog doesn't have any toy drive. Can I teach him to play fetch? No, that's someone else, sorry. My dog doesn't have any toy drive. Yeah, but you have to teach him, sorry. You have to teach the dog hold. Toy drive? What are you talking about? You teach the dog to play, okay? All dogs can learn to retrieve. Every dog that comes here learns to retrieve. How can you ask that question? Sorry, but, I mean, really? But you probably has food drive, and you train it with food too, don't you? I'm sorry, I sound like I'm condescending. Right? It's just, you know, come on, man. You gotta train your dog. All dogs can retrieve. Every one of them. Every one of them. I trained Chippy to use the dummy launcher. It's a Yorkie, weighs 4 pounds. He had no drive, okay? You know, no drive. The person that doesn't use a crate with their dog is an idiot. I understand what you were saying now. Why would you get the dog and not have a crate? Or, listen, you know, I get it, Michelle. A lot of times I hear people, no, the crate is so ugly. They don't want the crate. I trained this dog. It was for a designer in New York City, and she's such an idiot. It was a Bouvier, and she stopped crating the dog at 6 months, and that was her reasoning. Right? Was that it just didn't match the furniture. Okay, idiot. Well, I stopped working with the dog after this happened. I pick up the dog for boarding. I'd already done a board and train. And after 2 days of being at my house, it threw up a plush toy. So it could have died. So if it wouldn't have thrown it up, I would have been taking it to the ER, freaked out that it was my fault. So I'm holding this up and I'm saying, what's this? It didn't come from my house. And she goes, oh, that's the Angry Bird, so that's where it went. So when she came home and I took the dog back, I said, I'm never watching your dog again. I don't want to be put in that position. Now, she wanted to get another dog, and she contacted me through text saying, I really appreciate what you did for my dog. I'm getting another dog. I didn't respond. And then she tried it again. I know what she wanted me to do. She wanted me to train her dog. No, idiot. If I think somebody's an idiot, I'm not going to work with them. I'm not crating the dog at 6 months. She could have killed her dog. She could have. It's just fucking moron, you know? 6 months. That Bouvier was 4 or 5 years old, whatever. Didn't have any type of separation anxiety, and she was ignoring it when she was leaving, and the dog was always chill, and she limited its space to like one room or something. Okay, maybe. But the dog should always have a crate. What's your problem? Just throw the dog in the crate so that nothing bad happens. Besides, somebody breaks into your house, you want to get your dog involved? Have the dog away from everybody so they can't get hurt. You want your dog to protect your property, your possessions. The dog's worth more than anything you own, right? It should be. No, you want it to protect your house. Is that your reasoning? Because most dogs aren't very good at that anyway, unless they're trained. So what's your point? Use a crate. Ow, my back. I'll tell you what, like if I had money, what I would do is I'd have the barn finished out and I'd have a grooming table in there for any size dog. And then it'd be a lot easier because you just put the dog up on the table. Like to teach hold, I'll put the dog on a table, you know. But I haven't really been doing that lately because I don't really need to anymore. So I'll just sort of like elevate the dog on a tire or something. I got other methods. Sometimes I'll put in a high collar and a door frame like that. But that's what I would do if the barn was finished out. Put a grooming table back there and make it easier because my back is killing me. I'll sit here for a while and then I'll go. I'm gonna train the Vizsla. So I probably like today at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours with this dog. Last night an hour and a half plus bathing. So it probably I knew it would take like 5 hours. 5 hours of grooming. That's what I would suspect if I could find a groomer that would do it. It'd be like they'd be charging me, 5 hours at least. Good luck, People don't want to work, man. It's like what is wrong with working? I don't know. You got to do something. If you don't, you just sit around and think stupid shit. So if you're working, you're probably thinking about something other than stupid shit, like what you're doing. I mean, I try and do the best job that I can on the dog. It just might not be as good as somebody can do. I mean, look, if I was a groomer, I'm an artist. If I was a groomer, I'd be a great groomer, but I'm not a groomer. But I can pull it off, definitely. If there was a gun to my head, and they said, you're going to be in a competition, right? against all these other poodle owners. Well, he's not. Well, I don't know if a man, you would want a really white one if you were going to do that. You want a really white poodle. A lot of white dogs, though, have issues. So this dog's probably healthier than, like, the real white-looking one. But he's pretty white, once he's combed out. He's pretty white. But he's like a cream color or something. I don't know what color they call it. But, and it was a competition. I was going against people that had, won the Doggy Award for the craziest looking haircut. I'm pretty sure I could win, or I'd be up there. Come on. I'd turn that dog into a robot. It'd be easy. It would. I'm a sculptor. Well, I'm more than a sculptor. Yeah, it's like beige-ish. That's right. It's like... Yeah, it's lighter than beige, though. He's light. My friend, guess who tested positive for COVID? That's right, me. Did you really? What made you think that you had COVID? You have a scratchy throat like Obama? See, everybody should still be wearing their mask. People are going to get sick. It's going to spread. In July, they're going to want us to wear a mask anyway. Just keep wearing them. What's the big deal? Scratchy throat? Oh, I got a scratchy throat. Maybe I got it. Did you stop wearing the mask? Out of breath and my muscles hurt. No shit. Yeah, but you're vaccinated, so you'll be all right. The new, the B2 or something? COVID B2, is that what you're talking about? Apricot poodle. That's what it was. That's what it is. He's an apricot. He's not a white. He's apricot. Thank you. I was racking my brain. What color do they call that? Yeah, no mask, vaccinated 3 times. Yep. See, me and Destiny are both still wearing the mask. Like, fuck it. I feel disgusted. No shit. Delta Cron variant is the new one. It's called Delta Cron. I'm sorry, Hillsby. Oh, so yeah, but you'll be all right. You're vaccinated 3 times. Destiny needs to go get her 3rd. Thanks for the heads up. Obama's been, he's got it. Groomers have turned down my poodle multiple times. Why? Because it's a pain in the ass to fucking deal with? It's a lot of hours. It takes up hours. I mean, if you're willing to pay, you can find somebody to do it, but... He's an apricot poodle. I also have a slight fever. All right. Well, you're not going to have a bad outcome, right? Do you know which variant it is? Do you have any idea of that? You're a pharmacist. You probably checked. Well, I'm sorry, Hillsby. It does not feel like the flu. It's hard to describe. See, Hillsby, I had it. I was streaming. It was like right when it first came out, and I was in Seattle. I don't know if you were on the channel then, but I had it, and it really didn't feel like the flu. There was a lot of muscle stuff, and it really did. It sort of went away and then came back. I'm pretty sure I had it. I had the loss of like taste and smell. I was like, what's this? No, he's an apricot poodle. He's not cream. The color is apricot. All breeds have descriptions of their color, right? I don't think it's AKC. It'd be like Canadian Kennel Club or something. But it would be the same. But they all, like Chesapeake Bays are described as burnt straw, dead grass. They all have that. Labs are chocolate black or yellow. Labs are not white. It's not a white lab. It's a yellow lab. My first symptom was body aches. I remember I was like, fuck, I got the flu, and then it went away, and then like a week or 10 days later, it came back. I needed money, so I was live streaming. There were nurses on the thing that were going like, Peter, you got a cough, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't have it. That's what I was saying, but I was wondering if I did. I haven't been sick really since a muscle pain, weird places like the back of my neck, and tons of tops of my thighs, and I'm out of breath but not congested. Thank you. I've heard that that is the main complaint, is it affects the muscles, right? That's good. I'm glad for you, K19. You guys stay up on that. Keep setting the dog up. Keep doing that, right? He'll pick up on it, but you have to keep doing it. If you stop, he'll start doing it again. And watch your douchebag friends or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your kids. They encourage the dog to jump up staring at him. Say, leave the dog alone. I'm trying to train the dog. Just leave him alone. Or put the dog in a crate. Your dog should be in a crate when you're not home, or you're going to get the dog separation anxiety. It's a husky. It's going to tear up your house. Knock it off! Apricot poodle. I'm sorry, Hillsby. Who is that? Somebody needs to go out. Right, Mur? Mur's exhausted from me grooming her. My neighbor had COVID, and she said she felt like she'd been hit by a semi. You know, the other thing that I've noticed, see, man, when they started lifting the mask thing here, Destiny was sort of like, no, look at what they did last time. There's a bump up in China, right? Which China has been like, you know, you go home, like they're having problems in China. But it's just like, what was it, July? They gave it, oh, we could take our mask off and shit, right? Great, we could go in a store and do a video. And then July, they're telling us to put it back on. That's what they're going to do again. It's not under control. Just have everybody wear masks. That should be a new thing. Who gives a shit? I haven't gotten colds. I felt like something literally burrowed into my head, and the pain traveled down through my whole body into my feet. Huh. It's not totally off it, but definitely weird feeling. The vaccine helped, I'm sure. Fucking Hillsby. What about your husband? Does he have it? No, I don't think we should stop wearing masks either. I don't care. Most of the people in this area aren't wearing masks, but it's like I'm going in Dollar General. There's a woman coming out wearing a mask. I go in there, I wear a mask. I don't care. Whatever. They could say I'm paranoid. Yeah, because if I get sick, I can't work with the damn dogs. It's terrible, and it feels like shit. I don't want a cold either. He has a dry cough, but nothing else. Just slips into my school, my phone. Emily has had both variations. We are going to continue. We are. Destiny's 21. It doesn't matter about age anymore, though. She could get it. Yeah, masks are a small price to pay. Who cares? I'll tell you what. Regular flu, I haven't had it in 2 years, where I got it every year, okay? And I always got colds. Since I've started wearing the mask and using hand sanitizer, I've been able to function. I've never been like, oh my God, I can't work. The only time during the thing, that was when I had the hernia. I had the hernia operation. I had to like stop working. We all went out to dinner for his dad's birthday on the 8th. I'm sure more people who were at the dinner will test positive. Probably got it from the waiter. Plus the mask covers the scar from my skin cancer. How is that doing, Shirley? Is it healing up? That's Gus. Let me go let Gus out. I'll be right back. Hang on, Dick. Oh my God! No, that new variant, the B2, that's supposedly like a lot more contagious than Omicron or whatever. Should get us going tape. Don't forget. Right? It's more contagious. What's the most exotic animal you've ever ate? None. Niacinamide? What's the niacin do? It helps scarring or something? But it's more contagious, you know? If there's a variant that is worse, that's possible too. It's not always going to be in our favor. It could just get worse. It's from a fucking bat. Bats are filthy. A bat. Or that pangola or something. Whatever that animal is. It's a weird looking animal, of course. Of course it's a problem. It's a form of B3. Oh, niacinamide is? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was niacin. Interesting. I gave that to my dog Ike. Doctor told me to give it. It's very... Hillsby has COVID.
Oh, that's terrible. Is she okay?
She says she feels lousy.
How do you feel better?
Hillsby. All right. Listen, I'll live stream in a little bit. I gotta do some stuff. I gotta eat something first of all, and then I gotta work with the what you call it, the Vishlam. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Thanks, everybody.